Welcome to Court Explainer, where we are dealing with the question of drugs. We have purposely prepared 10 episodes on the law about drugs because the world has turned their attention to drugs. We turned the attention to the girl child, the whole world. The girl child was saved. We turned our attention to the environment. We created the Sustainable Development Goals. We turned the attention to the eradication of poverty. Now, the whole world, the attention is about the drugs. What does the Kenyan law, Chapter 242 of the Kenyan law, provide? What are the punishments? Keep tuning, keep watching the only channel that deals with the laws as they are written. These laws are made by Parliament. The President assents them, and they become law of this country. Don't involve drugs. But if you involve drugs, what is the price of being in that industry? Chapter 4B is the offense called conspiracy to commit offenses under this Act. 1. A person who, being outside Kenya, you have been telling me every other time, me I'm out of Kenya, me I'm in South Africa, me I'm in Dubai, me I'm anywhere. The Kenyan jurisdiction cannot get me. Now we have it here. A person who, being outside Kenya, conspires with a person who is in Kenya, commit an offense under this Act. In any place outside Kenya, being part of an act which, if committed in Kenya, would constitute an offense under this Act, shall be deemed to have conspired to commit that act in Kenya. Turudie, wacha nirudie kwa Kiswahili. Ikiwa wewe uko nje ya taifa la Kenya, mupange njama ya kutengeneza madawa ama kuuza madawa, lakini wewe uko pale, huyu atapokamatwa, hata wewe utaletwa kwamba ulifanya makosa katika Kenya. The fact that you are out of the country, but you worked and conspired with somebody in this republic who committed a narcotic drug while here, but you are outside, you will be brought back, you will be extradited, you will be brought back here, and you'll be tried in Kenya, and the offense will be that you committed the offense in the Kenyan territory. That is how the law of drugs operate. If Maduro committed the offense while in Venezuela with the people in America, because people are asking, Maduro has never been in America. Maduro committed a conspiracy with the people in America. The actual offense was committed in America. Maduro, by law, international law, committed the offense in the soil of America. So now you understand why this is international law. You do not need to be within the boundaries of this country for you to be brought here to stand trial. The law of extradition is very eminent on the question of drugs. Interpol, the police called international police, will bring you from whichever country that you are. It does not matter whether that country is friendly or not friendly to Kenya. So the first thing that today you are shocked is that if you conspire, whatever conspiring, the definition of conspiring is to plan, to intend, to actualize, a crime. Number two, a person who being in Kenya conspires with a person who is outside Kenya to commit an offense under this act in Kenya shall be deemed to have conspired in Kenya to carry out that act. If you are a Kenyan here and you conspire with somebody outside the country, you will be arrested and be charged that you did an offense in this country. But a person who is being outside Kenya conspires with a person who is also outside Kenya to carry out an offense under this act in Kenya shall be deemed to have conspired in Kenya to do that act. Two people outside Kenya, one is in another country in Afghanistan, another one is in Britain. They conspire to commit an offense in Kenya here. Both of them will be brought here and they'll be charged with the offense under the Narcotics Act. 4. A person who being in Kenya conspires with another person who is also in Kenya to commit an offense under this act in Kenya or outside Kenya commits an offense. If the two people are in Kenya, they conspire to commit narcotics drugs here, or they conspire to commit a narcotics drugs in another country, they have committed an offense. Maduro was in Venezuela. He conspired with some other Venezuela people to commit a crime in America. The two of them were not in America, but the place the offense was going to be committed was in America. Maduro committed the offense in America. And now you understand why the law of drugs is global. You can't say me, I've never been there. If you are here planning, like terrorism, if you are in this country planning a terrorism act in another country, you have committed a terrorist crime there. Lastly, a person who conspires to commit an offense under this commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine of not less than 100 million shillings and to imprisonment for life. If you are out of the country, if you have conspired here, you are going to be fined upon conviction to a fine of not less than 100 million shillings. Or a fine or an imprisonment for life. Or both. So you can be fined 1 billion shillings. You can be fined 100 billion shillings. Because it is a fine not less than 100 million shillings. That is how it is. So, Kenyans who are out of the country, be very careful on when you are involved in drugs trade in this country or in drugs trade outside the country. Foreigners in this country, be very careful on how you deal with yourself when you involve yourself in drugs in this country or in drugs outside this country. Wakili Omari always brings it as it is. We have looked the offenses under Section 3 and Section 4A, 4B, and we have concluded that the question now we shall be looking in the next episode is other offenses under Section 5 of the Narcotics and Drugs act. Wakili Danstan Omari, always bringing it live as it is. Happy New Year. Avoid drugs. Tip off before you get into these problems. And remember, the president and the cabinet is calling for a review of this act to enhance the punishments provided for. Keep watching as we proceed to the next episode.